taking personal readings at this time. Please do not get scammed by people posing as me in the comments section. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel, Roseology. So today's pick a card is all about what is your soul craving right now? What is it in need of? So if you've been feeling vibrationally like deficient, exhausted, like something is lacking in your life, and it's just this really deep internal feeling, it's usually because our soul is in need of something, and maybe we're just not seeing the signs, or we're getting quiet enough. Maybe we're a little bit distracted. There could be a million different reasons as to why. But yeah, we're going to be diving into the energy of your soul, the deeper levels of your conscious, and anything that you could be needing right now that you are not getting. So in today's pick a card, we have some herbs here, and I am absolutely loving the way these herbs like smell right now. Their scent is beautiful. But anyways, on pile 1, we have peppermint leaf and prehnite, and I'll hold up the crystal for you. On pile 2, we have calendula and then some honey calcite. I will be holding up this crystal as well. I'll be holding up all the crystals to give you guys a close-up during the clairvoyant pile selection. On pile 3 here, we have forget-me-nots, and I believe either rainbow quartz or rainbow calcite, something like, I think it's rainbow calcite. You guys let me know in the comments if, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong on that. And then here on pile 4, we have rose petal with, I believe is carnelian. Yes. So I will be holding up all of these crystals, but I decided to do a selection of herbs today. I more so wanted to focus on the herbs, but it may be easier for some of you guys to select a pile by looking at some crystals or something like that. So I decided to add those in as well. But yeah, also as well in the pinned comment section, check there if you want some extra intuitive hits that I got for each herb. It's just going to be little bullet points of extra information, tidbits of information that came through for each pile that wasn't mentioned in the pile reading, because this was just something that I got like after I was done with the reading and I started selecting the herbs. So let's just jump into the disclaimers and the meditation so we can get to figuring out what food your soul is craving right now. So obviously this is a general reading, meaning that it will resonate with who it is meant to resonate with. Tarot does not control or dictate your life. If you hear something you don't like and think you're just doomed to that reality, then you are not using my readings correctly. I conduct these readings for confirmation and not answers. If you hear something for the first time, do not take that message without receiving confirmation from your higher self and spiritual team. Realize that at the end of the day, your free will and what you do with it will determine your outcome, not a pick a card reading on YouTube. So please be responsible, be accountable for your own actions, and only use this as a guide to help decipher the messages that your spiritual team and the Most High have been trying to send you all along. For those of you that want to participate in the meditation, again, this is a general reading for the collective. So in order for this reading to resonate with you on a personal level, you've got to be synced into the energy of this reading on a personal level. To help you do that and to help you select a pile with your third eye and not your physical ones, I will be offering a 60-second meditation. Halfway into it, I will be doing a zoom in on the crystals for my clairvoyants that like to pick piles with objects on them. And after the clairvoyant pile selection, there will be a clairaudient selection where I play a different tone for each pile, and you can select a pile based off of which tone resonates with you the most. If you are drawn to another pile, that's because there is another message for you in that pile. If you're ready, then get into a relaxed position. Become aware of your entire body, starting with your feet, and work that awareness up in sections from the feet to the head. Then take a deep breath in through your nose for around 5 seconds. Hold that breath for 3 seconds and then exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Then ask your guides, spirit, ancestors, universe, or all of them to connect you to your higher self so you can receive confirming messages as to what it is that your soul is in need of right now. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. On pile 1 with the peppermint leaf, we have the crystal prehnite. On pile 2 with the herb calendula, we have the crystal honey calcite. On pile 3 with the forget-me-nots, we have the crystal that I believe is rainbow calcite. Pile 4 with rose petals, we have the crystal carnelian. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So let's just jump straight into your tarot cards to see what it is that your soul feels as though it's lacking or is deficient of or is in need of or is craving right now. So yeah, let's just, very first card that we have for you, 8 of Swords. And then the 10 of Swords. Okay, that's very, very... This is a very deliberate message coming through for you. Pile 1. First thing coming through, sage, incense, cleanse your space of your home, smudging, anything like that. Cleanse your space to your home if you can. There's a lot of different thoughts making impressions on you right now. With the 8 of Swords, first thing I'm saying though is a hug. It's like you wish you had emotional support. Maybe you have enough logical people around you, or maybe you have enough like rational reasons to perceive something a certain way, but what you are missing is like affection, warmth. Eight of Swords just looks like a hug to me, but it's not as simple as that at the same time. So it's like you're craving a sense of closeness with this Eight of Swords. Normally this card talks about being a bit dramatic because of a lot of different thoughts filing in fast. And there's a sense of overstimulation mentally when we're dealing with the Eight of Swords. Ten of Swords, you're completely checked out. Like Eight of Swords is like, this is overstimulation, this is overthinking, this is hyper focusing, obsessive thinking, obsessive thoughts, obsessive personality. Ten of Swords is like, it's completely just like nailed you down. But yeah, normally with the Eight of Swords, this card can talk about being a bit dramatic because of a lot of different thoughts just coming in so quickly. And it's like she can't process everything that's coming in. So there's this sense of a mental backup or like mental congestion. And this causes her to panic, even though reality isn't nearly as bad as she is perceiving it to be. It's just more so like she is kind of creating this reality by focusing on one thought or focusing on something negative or focusing on something that she doesn't like or focusing on something that's causing her to feel trapped, restricted. And if she had the time and space to work through her own mind, she'd be more than likely she'd be able to see that. But for you, there's this overwhelming feeling of, I just need a real, genuine connection that just keeps coming through. I need loyalty, honesty, the truth. Someone in this pile also feels ignored emotionally. And I know there's two swords cards here, but I'm picking up this energy so strongly within the sacral chakra area. I'm feeling all of this versus thinking it, which is how I know this is more emotional. It's like your emotions are actually producing this mental state. It's actually producing thoughts. And is it normally the thoughts create the emotional reality or the emotional feeling? I don't know how it works. I don't even know if there's like a system to it. But if there is, this is a little backwards, or you may be, something about this feels backwards. It feels like your emotions are making you think a certain way instead of you telling yourself how to feel. Something about it feels backwards. So I don't know if you guys are like perceiving it backwards as like my emotions should not have this much control or this much influence or this much impact on me mentally, or what you are needing right now that you are not getting is emotional fulfillment, warmth, and support. So something about your soul feeling alone or feeling lonely, feeling outcast, misunderstood. You want someone you can go deeper with, and it's just not happening. And you know what this feels like and actually looks like is like, I don't know why, but this looks like Rose in Titanic, where she's like hanging off the front of the ship because no one is hearing her. It's like, you're not being dramatic. Not that you need me to tell you that. You know how you feel, but this runs deep because it's carried in the soul as well. So some of you may feel trapped in a job, I just heard. For others, it could be a relationship, a marriage, a living situation or environment. Apply it to your own life as it fits, if it fits. But there is a sense of not even feeling trapped, but like you actually are. You may feel emotionally vulnerable right now. And okay, I'm getting it. What your soul needs or is craving right now at the moment, something that may help bring a sense of calm to you, is just hearing, receiving, and knowing that everything is going to be okay. I feel like some of you just don't have anyone else telling you that. And even though it's well and good to be self-motivated, we are social creatures. And many of us appreciate that extra backup or support. Sometimes we need it or we feel like we need it, and that is okay. It's okay to want to hear from someone else outside of yourself that everything's going to be fine and that everything is going to be okay. And this is like tripping, the idea of tripping over something, making a mistake is also coming through. Being worried or anxious about making the wrong choice, making a mistake spiritually. Take the pressure off, pile one. Breathing, deep breaths, or practicing different breathing methods feels significant for your pile. Be very careful about working yourself up into a frenzy. There's this, I don't know if you guys can hear this siren. I think it's like a fire truck or something because it doesn't sound like an ambulance, but be careful about working yourself up into a frenzy. Just be careful about getting yourself into such an anxious state that like it's physically like causing you to have high blood pressure, like high cholesterol, experiencing like heart palpitations, just stuff like that. Be very, 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 very careful of that. Become present, pile one. No matter what your brain is cycling through, those thoughts that it's cycling through, stop yourself and be like, okay, where am I right now? Literally focus on your surroundings. Like literally stop yourself and be like, okay, I'm wearing blue jeans. I'm wearing a white shirt. I am sitting in front of my desk. I am looking at this. I focus on what is right in front of you. I can feel just like these shallow breaths, and it's like it's fast breathing. It's very anxious. Be careful about working yourself into a frenzy and this physically affecting you, because it's possible for some of my pile ones. So take the pressure off. Deep breaths and practicing different breathing methods could really help for you. Breathing deeply into your belly and exhaling. Also, if you've been spending a lot of time alone by yourself, because both of these characters in these cards, they're alone, as you can see. And they're really going through something by themselves. And that's not always good. It's not always good to suffer in silence. It's not always good to try and work through things on your own. Sometimes we need that assistance, and sometimes we need that support. This is why the 911 emergency center emergency number exists, so we can call for extra help if we need it. Not everything is meant to be handled by ourselves. And this is another thing that is kind of adding to this sense of like, oh my goodness, like everything that's happening must be true, because I don't have anybody else outside of me saying to me, this isn't happening. And I'm also picking up some of my pile ones. It's like you're in between a rock and a hard place, because if you did have somebody telling you, there's a reason why some of you are dealing with whatever this is by yourself, because some of you don't want to hear another person say, that's not real, that's not happening. Because it causes more anxiety, because you're feeling like you're trying to tell someone this is happening and they're not believing you, or they're trying to dismiss it, or they're trying to talk you out of it. And so it's like you're caught between a rock and a hard place. You need to realize that this is only existing in the mind, but at the same time, it's not helping to also deny what you're going through mentally or emotionally. That's also not helping. So if you've been spending a lot of time by yourself, hang out with other people. If there's anyone in your life that genuinely makes you feel safe, spend time with them. Another thing my pile ones are in deep need of is company, but it's the right type of company. You've been around too much of the wrong company, and it's not that they're bad people in any way. They just cannot feed you spiritually in the ways that you need to be fed now. I don't know, it's like spiritually, like you're a flower, and it's like the seasons just changed. So it's like you're a flower out of season. And so your environment has to change. The way that you're taken care of has to change. It's like if you're not getting as much sunlight as the summer season was giving you, because now we're moving into fall and winter, it's like, okay, well, now I need maybe more water, or now I need maybe more of X, Y, and Z, because I'm lacking when it comes to that sunlight that summer was just pounding me with, So it's like, it's just an analogy here, but it's the right type of company that you need. The seasons have just changed, so your environment has got to shift along with you, or along with the times, or along with the conditions. Some of you have just recently began a spiritual journey in a conscious sense, where you are opening up to these new areas of yourself, and no, you are not being hexed or cursed either. There's so many messages coming through for you. It's like they're fragmented, so I'm trying to keep up. I want to finish, I want to get through every sort of piece of information that's coming through, but it's like, as I'm getting through it, then another piece of information comes in, because it's coming through like bullet points for you. But yes, right, we do have we've got the damn Eight of Swords right here. So that's why this information is coming through quickly and sharply like this, very to the point. Okay, so your soul wants to reflect this awareness right back to you, where whether you have started a spiritual journey or have been on one and just surpassed like a major chapter spiritually, you've opened up to a whole new frequency. Naturally, when that happens, the entire being, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, we have to calibrate. You know how they say new levels, new devils? It's kind of like that. It's like this is a calibration sort of moment, an alignment moment. So it's like vibrationally you're getting aligned. But this is a turbulent time for you mentally. And it's not because anything is going wrong. It's not because you have opened yourself up to lower forces or negative energy. It's not because you made a mistake and let the wrong person, relationship, or lifestyle in. Ultimately, you decide for yourself if that message fits. Okay? But what I'm hearing strongly is you have not done anything wrong. But you don't have anyone around you that you are aware of that can relate to you or that can speak to you in like this new language that you've taken on or have adopted. It's like a new language you've learned. You've let go of the old language. And it's a new language that you've learned. And it's like the people around you, maybe they don't know how to speak this new language. So you guys are like not understanding each other. What's that story in the Bible where old boy tried to like shoot an arrow at God or something, and so God got mad, and like, what is the name of that story? I forget the name of that story, but basically God cursed everybody. According to this story, God cursed everyone and made them all speak different languages so people couldn't understand each other. And it's like that just came to mind very briefly. The thing is like you're speaking a different language now because you're changing, you're adopting to a new frequency, which means that, like I said, you're like a flower out of season. You need people to like meet you where you're at or relate to you in a different way. And the people around you, they can't necessarily relate to you in that way because they're still on their own level. And it's not a bad thing. You've moved, you've changed, you've evolved. You're on a different level. Your level of understanding has evolved. And so it's like the things that you require now are changing and evolving too. And that can cause anxiety because it's like as we're calibrating to a new frequency, that, like I said, that also means that there's new requirements, there's new things that we need. And during that time, it can be a little stressful or anxious because we don't even know what we need when we're transitioning or evolving to this new level. We also have to learn this new language. We also have to learn these new needs and these new desires and these new wants that we are now in alignment with. And this can bring on a lot of anxiety. You may feel as though you don't know yourself right now. This is very normal, but you don't have anyone around you that you are aware of that can relate to you. So it's difficult to reach out and express your deepest thoughts, concerns, and emotions to others because there's this fear or awareness for some of you that's coming through as shame. You guys don't want to feel ashamed of how you feel. You're sick of feeling ashamed for how you feel. So you're keeping to yourself what you're going through because whoever is around now cannot relate. And that discourages you from opening up because you don't need to hear, oh, you're being too dramatic right now, or you're being too emotional, or you just need to you don't need to hear that right now. And so it's like, see how, like I said, there's only one person in both of these cards. So this is a solo experience. All mental activities, they start out independently or privately, right? And your soul is craving a space where it can ground right now because it's channeling new frequencies, pile one. Some of you have a future where you are meant to be some type of healer. Healer isn't the right word because it's like a combo. It's like a healer / motivational voice, possibly for other people in the future. For some of you, there's also something to do with writing about this current experience and the realizations or revelations that you're about to come into. This can also help clear some things up for you mentally as well. Ten of Swords is confirmation that what perplexes you right now, whatever is confusing you or tripping you up right now, you will not only come to understand with an obscene amount of clarity, but you will even be able to convert this into some form of healing method. I just heard training for you as well, so take that if it applies to something specific for you. But you are almost out of this pile one, and there will be a whole new level of understanding your own needs and how to give them to yourself, as well as how to receive what you need moving forward. So there's a lot more balance coming in. I just heard to tell you as well. And amen. I just heard meaning your soul is done spilling to me as far as what it need, as far as its needs, as far as expressing to me what its needs are right now. Okay, let's get some more clarity then with some oracles. Let's move into that. Get some essential oil cards for you. See what pile 1 needs right now. What is pile 1 soul in need of right now? Okay. So this card flipped over, we have our Boravite, the card Flow. It says, trigger statement, why are things such a struggle? Yeah, just like the 8 of Swords, 10 of Swords. True statement, I'm in the flow. So you're actually not being blocked. You're not being stopped. You're not actually running into anything that's trying to interfere with you. You're actually in the flow. This is actually, this means that this 8 of Swords, 10 of Swords moment, experience, or situation that you may be going through right now is actually you progressing, moving forward. It's meant to happen, in other words. Take a breath, dear one, and allow yourself to feel the flow of life through you. Release your need to do and just be. Yeah, okay, so then release a need. It's natural with the 8 of Swords, you know, it's like, it's natural to see this card and be like, bro, untie yourself, like get out of the situation, you know? But there's something here about actually just experiencing this. I think it's because you're going to come into your own sense of clarity where it's like, this is not something that I need to even be concerned about. I think this is you actually living through your fears, living through them, working through them, and coming to the conclusion that there's nothing to actually be afraid of, or there's nothing here actually in my way, or there's nothing here actually stopping me, there's nothing here actually harming me. I think you guys are going to come into a sense of clarity when it comes to fears, limiting beliefs, doubts. Okay, let's check this out. We have here fennel, align. Exactly. Like I said, you guys are getting aligned. You're spiritually getting aligned. Trigger statement, it is not my fault. True statement, I take full responsibility. Shift into your body and listen. Release the emotions you've been storing and move forward. Okay, so you guys are also releasing emotions that have been stored for a long time. So this is another thing that you guys could be flowing through right now. Underneath the deck, we have Maleluca, I don't know, card evolution. Yeah, like I said, you guys are like a flower out of season because you're changing and evolving and bringing in this new frequency. Trigger statement, things will never be the same. Good. I actually just heard, I feel like your soul just said good that things will never be. Somebody here just said good, things will never be the same. True statement, I attract only what is for my highest good. The imbalances in relationships that have been keeping you down are no longer needed. You are ready to transform. You are transforming, pile 1. Thank God. Thank God. This confirmation is beautiful for you. Let's see. Let's get one final card for you. Final message. Ooh, okay. Hold on. We have here fairies, earth magic. So this is what the earth magic wants to say to you. I'll read that out of the book. Underneath the deck here, we have love in reverse, love and compassion. Give this to yourself. For this to be in reverse, it actually kind of feels like you handing love to yourself. So bringing in more self-love. Just saw 222 for you as well. So that could be significant. Let me read this out of the book. 1 second. Okay, fairies, earth magic says here, fairies are nature spirits. Okay, so then you guys may be very, very close to like fairies. You may believe in them, or fairies believe in you. For this card to come out, they believe in you. They're looking at you, watching you, trying to help you, sending you some sort of energy or vibration or clarity of thought, strength, something right now. But it says fairies are nature spirits thought to be descendant from the early tribes, particularly the Tuatha De Danann. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but here it is right here if you guys want to look into it. Whatever this is, Tuatha De Danann. But it says those associated with the goddess Dana, who once ruled Ireland that inhabited the British Isles. Over time, these ancient people were conquered and displaced, and they fled to areas where humans did not venture, ultimately becoming increasingly smaller and less visible in order to better hide themselves. That kind of looks like the 8 of Swords right here. Something about you trying to hide yourself is also being brought up here as well. So then stop making yourself smaller. That has to that idea of maybe if I made myself smaller, I could avoid certain things. That idea has got to die with the Ten of Swords right here for some of you. Very specific message for some of you. It says fairies have assumed responsibility for the plants and trees, or standing ones. They work with earth magic to take care of these beings, and if you ask, they will help you with your garden or yard. They also have the power of enchantment and shape-shifting. Fairies appreciate it when we show them through our actions that we love the earth as much as they do, and consequently, they bestow a little of their earth magic upon us. It says here you have the same power available to you as the fairies do. It starts with loving the earth through your heartfelt gratitude and appreciation, but more important, through your actions. The fairies can help you reconnect in a more intimate way with the earth, and all they require is your willingness to pay attention to the trees and plant life around you and demonstrate your care. Whether you live in a small space or have an expansive land, make it a point to be especially attentive to your surrounding vegetation. Plant something, get your hands in the dirt, and do so with love and enthusiasm. Every flower, tree, or shrub you are tending is a living being. So treat each like you would a dear friend. Ask the fairies to help you take care of these friends, and you will be rewarded many times over. I was just talking to someone the other day about my experience. I had an experience, kind of like a psychedelic experience. I won't say how, but this was like years ago. And I remember afterwards, just being able to feel and sense trees. And I literally, every tree I passed, I stopped and hugged it. I mean, I looked like a total nut job, but there's something about trees that are so gentle and beautiful and very healing as well. So if you've been feeling a need lately to connect more with nature, maybe to plant some plants or be more involved with nature, this is definitely confirmation to do so. And this will also help with this Eight of Swords, Ten of Swords kind of mental state that you have been kind of trapped in a little bit for a while now, pile one. But this is all that I'm seeing for you guys, pile one, as far as what your soul is craving right now. More nature, more earth energy and things of that sort. But thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. And until next time, please stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So we're just going to jump straight into your tarot cards to see what it is that your soul is in need of right now, why it's maybe feeling deficient, or if you are sensing some sort of like lack in your life or spiritually, vibrationally. We're going to dive into the medicine for your soul, what it needs. So yeah, let's check out the cards. The very first one that we have for you, Eight of Swords in reverse. And then the Emperor. I actually really like this combo though for you. Pile 2, it's funny, I just heard a new life, pile 2, but let me dive deeper. So either you are glowing, you know, you're having a glow up, right? So you're glowing up right now, or you will be having one very soon. Something is significant about Libra season for you, which we are coming into, what I want to say September 23rd, yeah, until October 22nd, 23rd, around there. That's under tropical timing, under Vedic timing. It's from mid-October, I want to say October 15th, 16th to November 14th, 15th, around there. But there is a big, actually I'll put it in the pin comments down below, like I did with just some other intuitive hits that I got for each pile. But yeah, so there's a big like time jump for you. There's a big time jump for you. And within the 3D, obviously that's impossible, but it's the way that your soul is showing it to me is with timing. So I feel like your soul is so fucking over something. It's over something, or it's over someone. It's like really ready to just shove something, like completely X something out. I don't know if you guys are, I don't know if my pile 2s, okay, somebody here in my pile 2, you've been maybe in a relationship, involved in a relationship, friendship, something like that. Could even be business, could be with like family, maybe it's like a roommate situation. Take it as it resonates. There's some sort of connection in your life where your soul is like legitimately at a cross. Like, it does not want anything to do with this person anymore. So somebody here in this pile, you've literally been in an on and off situation with one person, one particular person or relationship for a long ass time, maybe years. And this is why every time you guys come back together, it eventually falls apart. Whatever this is, oh my God, I don't want to say this. Whatever this is, it's not meant to work, pile 2. Take it if it resonates. I don't do whatever you want to do with that. I didn't want to say it. I had to though. Anyways, like I said, there's a big time jump for my pile 2s. And so that, like I said, that's the way that your soul is showing it to me. And obviously in the 3D, we cannot time jump. We can't go forwards or backwards. The only time that actually exists in the 3D is right now in the present. With your soul showing it to me in that way, this tells me that energetically, and when it comes to manifestation, there's a really big development happening now, or it's currently coming in. This could be with a job, because the Emperor is top dog, all right? He's judicious, he is astute, his energy is very business minded, and he is the literal manifestation of ultimate success. I'd say the Chariot comes pretty close to the Emperor, or the Emperor is at one point in time, he was the damn Chariot, but now he's chilling back on his throne because he's big dog on campus. So basically, like I said, I'd say the Chariot comes pretty close, but he definitely does not touch the Emperor, because the Emperor is the highest level in the land. He holds more power than a king, because the Emperor, he governs many nations. Unlike a king who only governs one kingdom or one nation, the Emperor governs all of them. So kings have to answer to the Emperor. Now, this is why the Emperor rules all the king in tarot, because he embodies all of them. His throne is stone, as you can see, and it's something that your higher self is highlighting. Specifically, is this man's throne, is the Emperor's throne. It's stone. It's literally set in stone with this Emperor card. And basically, with me like zoning in on this is like your soul kind of saying that right now, there's some sort of elevated position that you are in now or will come into. And it will be so secure, whatever this elevated position is, it will be so secure that it's literally cemented. So you're not just going to make your mark somewhere. You're not getting a seat granted at the table. Like, this is along the lines of being untouchable to a degree, as well as irreplaceable, I'm hearing. So let's say that this is a promotion at work. You're going to solidify that position by becoming this invaluable asset to that company. They won't be able to replace you because you bring something that nobody else can compete with. While that's incredible, the Eight of Swords is the companion card, but it is in reverse. So what your soul is craving right now is a journey that you have been on, or something that you've been working through for a long time, and it is inner confidence. Sounds really simple, but for you, it's been a long road getting to a place where you truly believe in yourself. Those doubts may have been loud at one point. For some of you, this came from childhood, a household where you either where it's like, either you were not championed or you were not challenged enough. So it's like, for some of you, your household could have been too strict, or your parents' expectations could have been too high, where nothing you ever did was good enough. And it's like someone would focus on where you could have done better. In your childhood, even when you made these amazing strides or achievements, it's like maybe your parents or somebody specifically, it could have even been like an older sibling with this Emperor card right here. Emperor being ruled by Aries, this could totally have been a sibling that maybe was in competition with you, but you were never in competition with them. This is somebody that you looked up to, and they never gave you that pat on the back. They never told you that good job. For half of you here, that is the story. For half of you here, this burnt you out at a very young age. Some of you, after getting out of this environment, you went through a hard time either in college or in your like early adult years, like your early 20s. You may look at that at that time, or you may be experiencing that right now. And maybe you're looking at that, or you look back on that and think that you made a lot of mistakes that had these really big or long-standing consequences, or consequences that you're paying for still. For others of you, you may look back on your upbringing and feel like you were not pushed hard enough or given enough responsibility, and this made you either second guess yourself when you did come into adulthood, or it made you avoid really big commitments or challenges that just required too much of you. And if this does not apply, it's not because it's not your pile, but that was something that your soul had to get out. It had to get that out. It would not let me pass that. Okay, so either way, whether those scenarios apply to you or not, you dealt with a time in your life where you really had to develop one voice that you listened to, where you had to keep talking yourself up and keep telling yourself not to listen to the doubts or the fears or those limiting thoughts with this Eight of Swords in reverse. Or for some of you, you had to literally you had to just stay focused. Like you weren't allowed to listen to all these other what ifs. You had to literally stay focused on, I don't care about the what ifs. This is about only just pursuing or focusing on my goal, or what I'm trying to change, or where I'm trying to go. And you could not look at everything else, because if you did, Eight of Swords in reverse, this was about being divided in too many places. So you had to really take all of that division, because you got used to hearing all these doubts. You got used to being just mentally divided. You had to take all of that and boom, narrow it down to one thought, one focus, one path. You learn how to not listen to the doubts and the fears. And that may have made you afraid to break past some sort of ceiling in your life. Back when these doubts were there with the Eight of Swords in reverse. For example, let's just say maybe you always had like a business-oriented mind, but have never known anyone to own their own business. Maybe you're the first person in your family to go to college. Just an example, but it's like you took a major bet on yourself somewhere. Emperor right here, you really invested into yourself despite all the doubts right here. And you had to develop a level of mental fortitude that you were not used to. You were not allowed to listen to the thoughts that kept pushing the same narrative that no one in your family has ever gone to college. Or what makes you think you could be a business owner? You've never seen anyone else do it. You know, it's like you had to transform yourself into this emperor character. And while you have transformed or are transforming, it has taken a lot out of you. You may be feeling a bit mentally exhausted lately. This is because your soul is saying, we've made it. You can rest on this throne now, this seat of power. In other words, you can believe in yourself now. You can believe in your talent and in your vision. You've constructed the perfect mindset, attitude. And if you have not yet, you're on your way to figuring out what it takes to do that with the Eight of Swords in reverse. So this is going to have huge implications on your life in a really good way. This will open up a lot of avenues for you if it has not already. Your soul is just ready for you to own it. It's ready for you to be proud of yourself and to not hide anymore. Those doubts made you hide in the past, and that's okay because you gained a lot of knowledge and have become quite wise. The Emperor is one of the wisest characters in tarot. You do not get to his level without wisdom, and you cannot be taught wisdom. That simply comes from experience. The Emperor, it's all about experience. It takes blood, sweat, and tears to get to where he's gotten to. You can't just talk it up. You can't just throw a nice suit on someone, give them a few awards or labels or attention or a title, and now all of a sudden they're an emperor. No, it just doesn't work that way. I'm sorry you guys, I had a phone call, but like I was saying with the Emperor, you can't fake it with him. Like, you could dress somebody up, you could give them the same robe, the same crown, the same scepter, an orb, you can give them the armor, you can even have them sit on the throne. They're gonna look like a clown up here. Eventually they're gonna clown themselves. The Emperor literally had to go through so much to get here. This is not an energy in any way, shape, or form to be jealous of when we deal with the Emperor. The Emperor is literally the embodiment of the saying, heavy is the damn head that wears the crown, for sure. So with the Emperor here, my pile twos have had to live through the lessons to get here. You guys have had to survive a lot of shit to get here. 8 of Swords in reverse, clearly. You're here though. You've arrived. Your soul is literally craving the next level. Very simple. That's why if you've been hearing that old voice that you thought you got rid of with this 8 of Swords in reverse, it's because you were being pushed to a new level. If you are not there already, it's like I'm getting this feeling of like if you were to see a door and like walk through it. For some of you, you're still standing behind the threshold. For others of you, you're standing in the doorway. And then others of you have taken one step through the door already. And it's like you're still not used to this emperor thing just yet. Your soul is so ready for you to own it. It's so ready for you to own it. So if you have, like I said, if you have been hearing that old voice that you thought you got rid of years ago, months ago, or with that last relationship, or from your childhood, or after months of therapy, or whatever it is, some of you guys have been separated from these doubts for a long time. And it's like they're resurfacing and you're like, what the hell is going on? I got rid of you. Why are you showing back up again? It's because you're being pushed to a new level. You're being vibrationally pulled towards promotion, elevation. Your soul is just craving you to be open to it, very simply, to embrace it. Do not try to minimize it. Take the compliments, take the admiration, take the opportunities. You've earned it. You've done everything to get to become this emperor. It's funny because it's like the people that actually are emperors are the ones that don't want to sit on this damn throne. Meanwhile, you got all these different clowns out here playing dress up. They're happy to sit on that throne. Meanwhile, the ones that are actually worthy of it, they did everything they were supposed to do. They survived everything that they have. They gained and earned wisdom that is needed to fulfill the role of the emperor. Those are the very ones that don't want to sit. They don't want nothing to do with it because of everything that they've been through. If you are an emperor type of person, naturally, you may naturally reject the idea of being in this position because you know what comes with it. It's the people that don't understand the amount of sacrifice that goes into it that want to be the emperor. It's the ones that don't deserve to be there, that want this position the most. Most of my pile twos, y'all don't want it. You're good. You're good on it because it's almost like, okay, another example coming through. It's almost like going through a really hard time in a relationship, right, with somebody, and it's like they just put you through the ringer for years. Finally, you decide to walk away and they change. They really change into a way better person, right? And it's like, even though they've truly changed, you're disgusted at them because of everything that it took for them to change. This is kind of like, I don't know why that example came through, but it came through in that way. So this is kind of like that, where it's like, yeah, I know what I've worked through. I know what I've endured. I know what I've survived in order to be hailed as an emperor. But now it's like you're disgusted at the position. It's almost like some of you are disgusted at the throne. You don't take it as a compliment for somebody to say you're so strong, you're such an emperor, you're such a leader. You don't take it as a compliment because of everything that it's taken for you to get there. A compliment, me surviving as a compliment, wow. That's how some of you guys take it. Your soul wants you to own this. That's the funny thing. Your soul is like, nah, we deserve it. Let's go. Your soul is like, let's go, we deserve it. That's the funny thing. So don't try to minimize it. You know, your soul just said you're moving. Your soul just said you're moving into a master number, and it just showed me 1111. Take that if it resonates, but it's like you were turning into a master number. So you're moving into leadership and you can feel it. That's why there may be some old fears or doubts resurfacing. Some of you guys as well, you're going to start, if you get personal readings done yourself, or if you read cards for yourself, or if you watch a lot of readings, you are more than likely going to start seeing the Four of Wands a lot as you're making this transition. But like I said, you're moving into leadership and you can feel it. That's why there may be some old fears or doubts resurfacing, but it's not because it's true. It's because you are intuitively tapping into, oh, that's why I heard a new life in the beginning. okay, you're tapping into this master level or ascendant position. Your soul just wants you to get ready for it, so you embrace it instead of running from it. That's what your soul is craving right now. Your soul is craving for you to show up and be like, yes, yes, I am great. That's what your soul is craving. It's craving you to drop the humility. I don't know, to just embrace this role because it's resistant. Some part of you is resistant to this emperor thing. For some of you, like I said, it's because you're just so over everything that you had to go through. Yeah, that's why I heard with the Eight of Swords, you're like over it. A part of your soul is over some sort of back and forth, ridiculous situation. But then it's like you consciously are just, because of everything you went through, it's like you're almost not even interested in... This is so odd. It's like you're not even interested in the rewards, the fruits that came from all that suffering. You're just like, I want to put this whole damn thing behind me. You're not interested in the accolade. Okay, let's see what else we get here. We have here the card Helichrysum, I believe. Trigger statement, I will not forget. The card Hope. Trigger statement, I will not forget. Eight of Swords in reverse. True statement, I open my heart. Release the suffering. Eight of Swords in reverse. And take another step forward, sweet one. Emperor. With each step, you will see more light and healing. Your soul is craving you to open up to your destiny, to your fate. Your soul is craving you to open up to what you have earned. Your soul is craving you to open up into this new life. Some of you guys are so exhausted. You're so tired, but your soul is like, okay, here we go. Yeah, cleansing and purification. Trigger statement, their opinion matters to me. True statement, I see things in a new way. This is a new life for you. As you release external influences and energy, you will become clear with regard to what is needed. That's that Eight of Swords in reverse energy. Underneath the deck here we have for you, we've got Ginger, the card Will. Trigger statement, I am a victim. No, you are not. True statement, I am powerful beyond measure. You are the Emperor. You guys already know this. You went from the Eight of Swords, a victim place, to the Emperor. You guys know this, and it's like, but you're just, some of you guys are just like disgusted at even having it. I don't know why that keeps coming through. Anyways, it says you are strong and capable with gratitude, optimism, and action. Manifest the life you deserve, the new life. Exactly. You guys are just so, like I said, you take this whole like strong and capable, like get that out of here. Like, man, I was pushed to the brink, and y'all don't take that as a compliment. It's like somebody says like, you're so strong and you just want to slap them. Some of you, I don't know what's coming through. Let's get a final message here for my pile twos. Final message for my pile twos. I just heard here as well for some of you guys, underneath the deck we have Dreamtime Creation. I just heard for some of you guys, you're about to find your tribe. I don't know what that means, but okay, we have here Fire Passion. So I'm going to read this one out of the book for you. Fire Passion is kind of like the Emperor because he's ruled by Aries, and Aries it's all passion. It's all fire. It's all hot and heavy when we're dealing with Aries. It says, since the dawn of humankind, we've been fascinated by fire. As soon as early humans were able to make fire, it changed our lifestyle dramatically. Through its capacity to generate heat and light, fire made it possible to cook food, stay warm in cooler climates, and keep predators away at night. And of course, that huge furnace called the sun is a spark of life here on Earth, bringing not only necessary warmth of this incredibly huge ball of fire, but also the life-giving rays of light emitted by that fire. In this card, a man is enacting an ancient ceremonial fire dance originating from Samoa. At one time, performed to ignite the passion of warriors before battle. Fire can inspire other passions as well. We speak of being on fire or catching fire, phrases signifying that we possess an intense desire or enthusiasm for something. No wonder that passion has come to be associated with fire. And it says here, what are your passions? What turns you on? What ignites that inner flame, that creative spark? When you feel devoid of passion, consider what is missing in your life. It is most likely an absence of fire in your belly. This is something that also your soul is craving, that fire, that inner fire to get. Okay, so some of you guys, you had to use that inner fire to get through something, endure something, survive something, surpass something, triumph over something. But it's like, Okay, so your soul doesn't want you to only tap into this fire when you have to get through something. It also wants you to be able to bottle this passion up, or to be able to contain this fire and to use it in other productive ways versus just getting through a struggle. Okay, so it says something that makes your heart beat faster and quickens your breathing. Passion is not something that comes from outside of you. Although some events and circumstances can trigger it, it is an intensity of feeling. Whether quietly experienced or enthusiastically expressed, passion can simply be a strong feeling, or the sensation itself can be so powerful that it motivates you to act. This is too often associated exclusively with sexuality, which is certainly one way of experiencing it. Yet it limits its meaning and demeans the broader possibilities. Open yourself to the truth of what you are passionate about and find a means to express it. In pile 2, I'm trying to get my light out of the way so you guys can kind of see this image and see if it means anything to you. But yeah, pile 2, this is all that I'm seeing for you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. And until next time, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, you guys. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are just going to jump straight into your tarot cards to see what it is that your soul is craving or hungry for right now. If there's any sort of feeling of a vibrational lack or deficiency in your life, we're going to look into exactly what it is that your soul, food for the soul, what it needs right now. So let's just get started. Very first card that we have for you, 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And then we also have Moon in reverse. What your soul is craving right now, at least what I'm hearing for you, is to unearth some sort of gifts or a gift. It's like they're buried or lying dormant, and it's mostly because of this resistance that I feel to you opening up to these gifts. Consciously, you may block them out, but in your dream state, you may see yourself performing all types of gifts with the Moon in reverse right here. This is very buried. 7 of Pentacles in reverse is saying that these are literal gifts for you from the Most High to you, but they may scare some of you. Some of you don't always tapping into these gifts, especially when out in public, or when you're out socializing or just around other people, because you pick up on so much. Moon card is ruled by Pisces and the moon. Moon card, this is Moon in Pisces energy. So this is you being able to sense a lot. Okay, Moon in Pisces people are gonna know what I'm talking about. Honestly, Moon in any sort of water sign, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. This is being able to sense a lot. And whether your Moon is in a water sign or not, it doesn't have to be for this to apply. Your Moon could even be in one of the water houses. You could have a grand water trine in your charts. Your moon being in one of the water houses, that would be either the 4th, 8th, or 12th houses. You could have a lot going on in those houses in your natal chart as well, though. But besides all that, yeah, this is you being able to sense a lot. And some of you as well can even sense past incarnations on people. You can sense past lives where you are picking up on more than just their current life or their current incarnation. A lot of you, your gifts are so vivid, and that's another reason why you may resist them, because it's you're tapped into the energy of other souls or of other people. You can sense and feel very deeply. So this may bother you from time to time. Your soul is craving for you to open up to these gifts, because one thing is for certain is you've tried many times to shut them off, but it's they never turn completely off. They just get buried deeper into your conscious with Moon in reverse. So your soul wants to mention how this act of attempting to bury or not tap into your gifts is trying to deny your own nature. Many of you, it's weird. It's you might not be 100% sold on star seeds and coming from other planets, exoplanets and galaxies and dimensions, but when you hear details of being from Andromeda or Pleiades or Atlantis or another realm maybe. The details may shock or kind of like scare you a little bit because of how deeply you can resonate with those things. Like, for example, I forget which one because I am not that educated on starseeds, okay? But I think there's one, maybe there's a couple of them where telepathy is a very strong gift. It might be Arcturians, Syrian, I don't know. But it's like, for example, you may have a strong sense of being able to like read minds or hear other people's thoughts or know what someone wants or what they're thinking or what their intentions are. And some of you can even see, and why am I rubbing my third eye right now? Some of you can even see entities on people and what those spirits are. You can identify them, very specific detail coming through. So this is for like a handful of you. But some of you also specifically connect to children that have passed on, or you connect to souls that departed before they were ready. So they had tragic endings. And this is why some of you hate hospitals, because you can literally sense souls there or too many energies there. I don't know if somebody here on this pile is rubbing your head right now or rubbing your third eye, or maybe you do that quite a bit. Maybe you rub your temples. Some of you guys, you hate hospitals. You hate hospitals. You hate maybe being in like places where people are sick or have passed. So you guys may also like avoid, like, let's say that like you were in Hawaii, right? And let's say that there's like this like Pearl Harbor museum or like area where you can go and like, I don't know, like look at like some Pearl Harbor stuff. People in this pile would actually avoid doing things like that because it's like, no, too many people died here. There's too much energy here. There's too many spirits here. But that's something that I'm picking up for you guys is like, you'll avoid places where it's well known that a lot of people died there. There was a lot of tragedy that happened there. Or it might not even be a well-known place. There just may be certain places where you're like, I'm not walking in that house. I'm not going in that building. This is specific, so this won't be for all of you, okay? Very specific. It's like maybe one or a couple of you here where it's like you'll even avoid cemeteries because you don't want to bring something back with you because just energies maybe get very attached to you. Very, very, very attached to you, and then you're the one that has to work through kind of like getting rid of them or getting them off of your energy. It's like you're like it's like your energy, your spirit is like tape. Just take it if it resonates. That's just how it's coming through for me. Anyways, yeah, you guys are able to see, some of you guys here in this pile are able to see like tragic endings. These are the types of souls specifically that reach out to a lot of you in this pile. And some of you have even seen details surrounding like how people have passed on, like where you could solve a missing persons case, for instance. Again, that's only for a handful of you, but it's a very specific gift. My pile threes have these like galactic specific gifts, I'll describe it as, where, for example, like I mentioned, I think it's maybe the Arcturians, maybe the Syrians, I don't know, having the ability to clearly read or hear minds. It's not the most common gift. Like, we all have spiritual senses, just like we all have human instincts, or every living being has like a heartbeat, right? The collective of souls share the ability to tap into subtle realms and the superconscious because we're multidimensional and we're all sharing the same conscious fabric. But when we get into gifts and talents, those are more specific, and it's usually because our soul has spent lifetimes or a long time cultivating certain gifts and practices. Other times we're literally granted abilities or we pick up on them because they are needed for a specific incarnation or a specific life purpose. So the soul picks which gifts it'll inherit or that it'll need for which incarnation, if you believe in reincarnation and things like that. But even if you don't, I'm telling you, you've got these very specific spiritual abilities that you've been tapped into since you were born because you've possessed them since then. But you either never paid them much mind, or you denied that you had these gifts, or you consciously avoid engaging them because you know how much you can see or pick up on. Very strong third eye abilities my pile threes have. I keep seeing your third eye, and not visually, but like more energetically. There's an ability as well a lot of you in this pile have, where if you have this, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say you may be really good at telling you may be very good at telling the people around you, friends, family, colleagues, peers, even celebrities, if their relationship or partner is meant for them. And the thing is that you have never, ever missed. You have never been wrong. Maybe your timing was off a little bit, but the outcome you were spot on with every single time. Like I hear someone here saying to like a friend, for instance, that that's not your wife or that's not your husband. Some of you have even went as far as to be able to describe this person's like actual soulmate, or other people's like actual soulmates, or their actual partners, or their people that they're going to get married to, or the people that they're going to have children with. Some of you guys can even see details like they won't be married longer than 5 years, and literally on the 5th year they end up separating. You guys can also see children that have not been born yet. You may have even told people in your life that they were pregnant before they got pregnant. Third eye of yours is very, very, very strong. Or if you guys don't pick this up in your waking, you see all this in your dream state with the moon in reverse right here, but you don't engage it as much. And this is the thing, your third eye wants you to engage it more. It wants you to use it more, where you're calling on it more than you do. Information comes through your third eye like no one's business, pile 3. It's the details for me, where your third eye or your perceptibility as far as energetic information is top tier. It's top notch. You do not miss. So if you have not tapped into this yet, this might not be your pile, because this feels like something that you had zero control over since you were a kid. You've been seeing or sensing things, and it's not your imagination. It's very real. It's 7 of Pentacles right here in reverse. You may try to dismiss it as you're imagining things with moon in reverse accompanying it, but eventually future events unfold, and whatever you sensed or saw ends up happening. It's like real Nostradamus vibes over here. But your soul is craving more engagement, pile 3. It wants more involvement, because it's like there's this door. Like imagine like a door, you're on one side and your spiritual abilities are on the other, and both of you are pushing at the door. So it's like your abilities are trying to get through, and it's like you or some of you are trying to keep the door shut. And what's funny is it's like it's like sometimes your third eye be catching you slipping. You'll get maybe you'll get like a little tired, or you'll doze off, or you'll lose your footing for 1 second pushing against that door, and boom, your third eye peeks through and all of this information comes in. And that's how I'm seeing it energetically. Now, I don't know what you're meant to do with these gifts. I'd be lying if I said, oh, you're meant to be a healer or a tarot reader or a prophet. I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do with these gifts, because I'm not picking up anything specifically. If I was, I'd say it. But I'm not getting anything specifically. Maybe that's just for you guys to work out on your own. But if I was a betting woman, okay, I'd say that this has a lot to do with helping others uncover lost or buried information, because of how your abilities are buried themselves, and how strongly I saw some of you being able to tap into hidden details, or like this like submerged info, what souls try to give to you from the other side. Some of you guys, you hear about like maybe well-known people dying, and you know details of how they died. You know what their last moments looked like. You know what their last moments sounded like. You know what happened in those last moments. This could even be like submerged info. This is something that souls tried to give you from the other side. Even the souls incarnated in the physical realm, like human beings walking around right now that are still here. When you are around people, you pick up on things that they need to know for a reason. So you're like a clarifier for other souls here. I'd say this is a gift many of you have had for several lifetimes, possibly 7 lifetimes, specifically with the 7 of Pentacles being here. You could be a life path 9 though as well, with the moon card right here. You may have been born on the 18th of the month, with the moon card here is card number 18, or these numbers 7, 18, and 9 may be significant to you. You may see them a lot, or they may decorate your numerology chart as well. These details don't have to apply to you, okay, for this reading to be for you. If this reading or parts of it resonated, and you will know pile 3, because y'all know, okay, your gift is in knowing. It's in, and if you don't know it, it's only because you're trying to suppress it. But even if you suppress what you know and suppress the information, you can still feel it. This is why both of your cards are in reverse. It's because it's like it's suppressed, but it's still there. Your soul is craving for you. What your soul wants and needs is for you to open up to this. There's something that your soul needs or wants to express. That's why it has these very specific gifts. Also as well, pile 3, your soul is also saying with the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, it also is craving you to become more of a receiver. With the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, more of a receiver. more of a receiver, something about more rest, more relaxation as well. Maybe you guys don't get as much sleep. Oh, we do have the moon card in reverse. Yeah, some of you guys may be dealing with insomnia or have dealt with it. Your soul is also craving. It's weird because your soul is saying if you were to open up to these gifts more, your sleep wouldn't be so disturbed. Some of my pile threes, your sleep is so disturbed because like during your waking life, when this information is trying to surface and it's trying to come through, you push it down. And so it's like at night when you're kind of drifting into sleep or drifting into more of a subconscious place, that's why maybe you have a difficulty falling asleep, or this is why maybe you get like a burst of energy or a lot of downloads come through at night because you're starting to relax a bit more. You can't keep yourself as distracted as you normally do throughout the day with like maybe like work or your kids or whatever's going on throughout the day. At night, when there's not as many distractions, there's not as much going on. Some of you guys, you don't sleep in the dark, you sleep with your TV on or like a night light or something. I'm also seeing some of you guys don't like the dark. Let's get some oracle cards for you. Your soul, but besides that, your soul is also craving you guys to be more open to these gifts, because then your sleep won't be so disturbed or your night won't be so interrupted with all of this communication and information coming through. Let's get some oracle cards here. Some additional messages from your soul, what your soul is in need of right now. We have here Tangerine, the card of innocence, trigger statement. I have so much to do. True statement, I am playful. Let the burdens of responsibility go in this moment and look at your world with the eyes of a child. So another thing that you guys' soul is craving is also just a little bit of free time. Oh, maybe that's why I was getting rest. So maybe just some more rest too. More free time, more rest, more playtime, things that you do that's like fun and enjoyable. There may be like a lot of stress that you've been under lately, and you're just in need of your soul is seriously in need of like, it's not that your soul's in need of it, but your soul can sense that. It's more so like your soul is telling you what you physically need. And it's weird because somehow it's also connected or helping out your soul. Listen, I know I read cards, but I don't understand everything about the metaphysical realm. I'd be lying if I told you I did. So I don't know how all this works. I can only explain it to you guys as I'm picking it up, but it's like your soul is talking about things that you need in your physical reality to help itself out spiritually. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Let's get another message here for you. It's pile 3 soul need of. What does pile 3 soul need? We have here bergamot. The card expansion trigger statement. I am not enough. True statement. I love myself. Your tender heart is in need of care. Know that your body is here to help you experience a miraculous life. Embrace it. So this is more so too about embracing some sort of expansion with saying I'm not enough. But the true statement here is I love myself. So where can you give more to yourself, pile 3? There is some sort of like, your tender heart is in need of care. There could be some sort of like physical neglect going on with some of my pile 3s. I know I was picking up a little bit of insomnia, but there's like a strong message about your soul saying like give to your body. But as well as too, like it says with this card expansion, the soul is craving more expansion. Expand more into your gifts. Expand more into your gifts. Some of you guys with this saying trigger statement, I am not enough. Some of you guys, you doubt your gifts possibly. Maybe you don't. Like I said, oh, I did mention that. Yeah. Looking at your tarot cards, some of you guys, you don't pay any mind to these gifts. And it could be because you're bearing them, or you just, that's just one way that you kind of cope with the amount of information that you pick up. But yeah, you can totally believe in these gifts, pile 3. For those of you that don't, if you're doubting them, what I'm picking up is that most of you are aware that you're gifted. Maybe this is about you guys sharing your gifts then, because like I said, I don't know what you're meant to do with these gifts. Maybe you guys are meant to share them, and you're wondering if your gifts are strong enough or good enough, or if you're enough, but you are. And maybe this is why your soul wants you to expand and practice and open up to your gifts more, so you develop more confidence in them possibly. with it saying your tender heart is in need of care. And then underneath the deck here, we have lemongrass, declutter, trigger statement. I made so many mistakes, true statement. I let it all go. Yeah, everything you have done up to this point is leading you to where you need to be. Let go of the past and be here now. So if you guys need to let go of the past, Moon in reverse, Seven of Pentacles in reverse, anything it is that you have buried or pushed down or suppressed, that is also something that, okay, so then your soul is also craving you to open up into your gifts a lot more, because it might also be trying to bring up maybe some sort of emotions or past experiences that you have also buried. So maybe you guys, my pile threes, maybe you guys have a tendency to bury really strong feelings, not just your gifts, but also maybe even really strong feelings. Yeah, we do have the Moon card here. Moon represents emotions, intuition, instincts, spirituality. So it could just be that you're not just bearing gifts, but also you have a tendency to bury really intense emotions, really deep feelings. Okay, let's see. We have your cloud shape-shifting coming out for you. I'm going to read this out of the book just to get an additional message here from your soul. Underneath the deck here, we have Gaia nurturing. This is definitely about nurturing your body, you guys. Even something coming through here with this card is telling me about diet. More greens, more of a healthy diet. And in any way that you can, shift your diet to something healthier. More water, literally just... like I said, there's something about your soul highlighting physical needs, and somehow you checking in on these physical needs is going to help you spiritually. I don't know how, but take that if it resonates. Okay, let's read clouds out of the book. An additional message from your soul and what it needs says, when tiny droplets of water or frozen crystals are surrounded by billions of other droplets or crystals, a cloud is formed. Each of these tiny droplets diffuse and scatter light so that the tops of clouds are white, then fade to gray towards the base. The nature of cloud formations affects our mood as well as the temperature on the ground and in the air. Their shape, movement, and coloration tell us what weather to expect in the near future, and they nourish our visual hunger during breathtaking sunrises and sunsets. Most of us have had an opportunity at one time or another to notice the shapes and forms clouds take as they drift gently or boldly across the sky, constantly shifting and changing, adjusting themselves to the requirements of their nature. When we take time to simply observe, we can see the cloud people images that are an elegant collaboration between nature and our imagination. Okay, so there is just a connection here between nature, aka your body, and your imagination, aka your perception and your consciousness. So there is a connection here about taking better physical care of yourself is going to also play into you spiritually. Maybe you'll be more open to your gifts if you're taking better care of your physical body, if you feel more rested, if you have more energy, maybe even if you address certain emotions that you may have suppressed. Something about that, yeah. Okay. It says also here, in both subtle and more dramatic ways, you can shapeshift by your choice of clothing, hairstyles, adornments, and even mannerisms, such as facial expression, gestures, and the way that you walk. By adjusting these along with your internal attitude, you can actually display different personas. When you experiment with these variations of self-expression that are not how you ordinarily present yourself, others will react to you depending on the degree in which your persona contrasts with the one that they are most familiar with. Be like the clouds as you try out different forms, stretching your limits at times, willing to move and adjust as necessary. Lift your head up, square your shoulders, and stand tall, such that your chest and heart open to the world, and note how this feels. You may feel vulnerable at first, but stay with it. Then let your shoulders fall forward slightly. Pull your chest inward an inch or two and let your head drop a little. Observe how this feels. Experiment with contracting your aura, which is your energy field, then expand it as far as you comfortably can. By this kind of shape-shifting, you can consciously choose your expression into the world. Just remember who you are at the core. So with cloud shape-shifting, this is also your soul saying, this isn't necessarily about just opening up to your gifts and just remaining open all the time, all day, every day. This is about being able to gracefully kind of I don't know why I'm hearing percolate, but kind of gracefully moving in between, completely embracing all of this information coming in from the spiritual realms, and then kind of closing that door so you can have your time to rest. So you're going to have to be able to shapeshift through embracing your gifts, leaning into them, and then also to kind of taking a break for them or stepping back from them. So there's something also here about that as well. Some more balance in between embracing your gifts, opening up to them, as well as closing them off so they're not maybe taking up too much of your day or taking up too much of your time or taking up your time at night where you're staying up at night and there's like this issue with insomnia and not being able to sleep. By being able to shapeshift throughout opening up to your gifts when you need them and closing them up when you need to get away from them, that is really going to help you find a beautiful place of balance here. So balance is going to be very, very important for you guys moving forward when it comes to what it is that your soul is craving. So your soul is going to need a little more of you to open up and embrace because you're a little too closed off right now, and that may be causing imbalances, and that may be why you're experiencing imbalances in other physical areas of your life. But pile 3, this is all that I'm seeing for you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. And until next time, stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. So we are going to jump straight into your tarot cards to see what it is that your soul is in need of right now, what it is hungry for or thirsting for, or if there is any sense of like vibrational lack and deficiency in your life. We're just going to try to pinpoint what that is. And yeah, let's just look into it. So you're the only pile that got 3 cards. Also, okay, so we have here the Hangman in reverse. We have the Emperor upright. And then the Two of Wands. So pile 4, one thing that I am picking up right now, move this. One thing that I'm picking up right now, pile 4, with your energies here, is your soul is craving more faith from you, but in a way where you stop resisting an uncomfortable truth. It wants you to kind of see something for what it is. With this Two of Wands right here, it also wants you to use more of your discernment, more of your spiritual eye, instead of waiting for something to play out in a way that you can already sense it could go. It wants you to trust yourself more. That's what it's really craving. Someone may have asked for the truth in this pile as well, and now that it's here, you kind of like reject it or don't want it or refuse to accept it. And there's something that your soul wants you to open up and see for yourself, especially with this Two of Wands right here. It also wants you to open up to a new horizon versus being stuck on an old situation that has set. So there's acceptance that your soul also wants. There's also been some sort of a cycle where you literally watch something rise and then fall. And that's been very, it's like bothersome for you, disturbing. It's more so disturbing. So like, it's showing me like a sunrise and then a sunset. And it's like you saw this whole thing. So I'm just going to convert that into an example. Maybe it's like, I don't know, watching a relationship of yours end, for instance. You know, it's like you remember when the two of you first met and how good things were, and then it's like you saw the decline of it as well. So it's like you saw the rise and then decline of something, and that has really disturbed you, or it did disturb you or something like that in the past possibly. But yeah, there's acceptance that your soul really wants here, acceptance of how something has ended up or played out. It wants you to accept someone's choice as well, with the Two of Wands right here. And the Two of Wands too, showing up for you. This is like not only just like accepting someone's choice, but not allowing, I guess, whatever someone else chose to do to narrow your options, if that makes sense. I don't know. But yeah, someone here may be struggling with the choice that someone else made, but your soul wants you to look past it with the Emperor and the Two of Wands over here. Many of my pile 4s are literally hung up, hangman style, over some sort of experience or situation that left you feeling exposed or vulnerable. Maybe it left you feeling ashamed, especially if you gave something or someone a second chance against your better judgment and they ended up committing the same offense. You know, they ended up soiling that second chance with you all over again. And so it's like, this has led to some of you in this pile blaming yourself with Hangman in reverse. It's like shame here. And it's like with Hangman in reverse, this is saying that like you're taking a blame that isn't yours. Because Hangman upright, there's a reason that he is hanging on this cross just serene, because he know he done fucked up. Like that's why he's up here like this. Like he knows it. That's why the Justice card comes before the Hangman, because he's been convicted. And so that's just that's the part of the major arcana, the story of the major arcana, where it's like he goes through justice, this unbiased figure, you know, gives him a sentence or it convicts him in some way, and then the Hangman says, yes, you're right. That is a just ruling. That is fair. I deserve to hang on this cross. In reverse, this is saying either you don't deserve it or you look at something as though I didn't deserve that. This is like you disagreeing with the judge and being like, that's not fair, you know? So this is like an unjust kind of like situation. But I'm not picking up that it's like you're looking at it as though like I shouldn't be blamed or punished for this. I'm picking up like you're taking the blame or the punishment for something else or someone else's actions. And so, like I said, this has led to some of you blaming yourself, and there's a sense of shame. Now, Hangman from the 15th century Italy, like the very first Hangman tarot card from hundreds of years ago, it literally came from shame paintings. That's what they were called. They were called shame paintings. And if you could take like a trip back into time, 15th century Italy or Milan, you would see shame paintings like everywhere. And basically they did that. They were trying to like discourage, I think, mercenaries. I guess that's what you would call them. Mercenaries from like switching sides. And because they would just, you know, whoever was paying the most money or whoever was securing the most like power and influence for them, they would just fight for them, or they would lend an army to them or money to them or something like that. And there was like a lot of fighting in those city states like that back then. So Hangman actually comes from, his like origins come from a sense of shame. The RWS Hangman, this version of the Hangman, takes on a whole new meaning where all of his sins being on display, all of his shame and embarrassment hanging out for the world to see, has actually enlightened him. And this is why this card comes after justice. It's a painful, life-ending consequence. Not literally, but it's like, for example, let's say that there's like a couple and one partner cheats and the other partner forgives this person and lets them back in. But then this partner cheats again, but only this time somebody ends up pregnant. That first infidelity, it might have been more private, whereas now there's a child involved and this painful situation is out there. There's no escaping it. It's like, it's different. It's like, this is something that maybe there's some sort of past situation that some of my pile fours, maybe you try to keep it under wraps, maybe you tried to like control it, having to face this sense of shame or having to face this mistake everywhere you turned. You know, or it's like having bad credit and you can't get approved for an apartment anywhere. You know, it's like everywhere you turned, you were reminded of this issue or this mistake or this choice or some sort of disappointment or failure, something that didn't work out. It's like everyone can see it and there's just this judgment coming from a lot of different places. But your soul is saying, for my pile fours, you are still too focused on how something made you look. And this brings a totally different vibe to the Emperor right here. The Emperor, this is upright. This is what you want to appear like, or this is what your soul wants you to appear like with this Emperor right here. But there's a situation here that isn't matching maybe what other people thought it was. Going back to that example, it's like everyone thought that was a happy couple. Now, you know, now with all those issues, it seems like a facade. So there's an illusion that some of you guys broke a while back, but maybe tried to remain calm and centered and emperor-like. But it feels like now there's like outside opinions or questions coming in. Maybe now your family knows, or maybe now your kids have questions and you have to explain it to them. Whereas before, the only person that maybe you had to think about or deal with was your own self or your own sense of shame or embarrassment. embarrassment. So it's like there's some sort, I don't know why I keep getting embarrassment from this hangman. But yeah, your soul is craving you to detach from whatever this hangman energy is in reverse, whatever this is, because this feels like something that you were associated with, not necessarily something that you did. If so, the hangman would probably be showing up upright for you if this was something that you did. But like I said, it just seems like something that you were maybe like connected to. Your soul is saying, don't be ashamed. Walk with your head held high, with it like this emperor right here. He's not ashamed of a damn thing. Your soul is really craving that from you. It's really craving like this, like, pick your head up. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. Don't let this idea of you take over your sense of identity. With the emperor being ruled by Aries, it has a lot to do with identity. And that's a very powerful statement to say, to connect the emperor to Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, because this means that everybody was born with a certain level of authority, because we all have this ability to self-govern. We all have autonomy. We all have agency over ourselves in our lives, right? And it's like the emperor is basically saying we are all emperors. We all have this inner emperor ability or energy, and especially when we claim our sense of identity, despite whatever the world says or how the world looks at you. It takes a certain level of strength and power to emerge as this emperor, even if people have certain ideas or opinions of you, right? And so walk with your head held high and look to the future with the Two of Wands. Leave this behind, hangman in reverse, accept what's happened with the emperor, and now move forward with the Two of Wands. And the emperor, there's something about the emperor that's also saying, don't even try to hide it. It's like the sense of like a scarlet, like the scarlet letter, is that what it's called, the scarlet A or something like that? There's like this sense of like feeling like everybody can see your mistake, or everybody's judging you for it or something like that. I don't know, but your soul is basically saying like, yeah, and your soul is like a boss with this emperor coming out right here. Your soul is like, who cares? I'm seeing a house as well in this Two of Wands. It might be literal or just like a figure of speech that your soul is like showing me, but it's showing me a house getting demolished and then rebuilt. And so you may be afraid of rebuilding. Some of you suffered some sort of disappointment with like work or business that you own, and with you being the face of this business, you got like blamed for something that you may not have caused. You may not have been like the reason for the issue. Very simply, your soul is saying, let's move forward. Let's not hesitate or be stopped or blocked by this. Let's take this as a teachable moment, or not, but either way, let's move on. The soul has a way of coming off emotionless because it's not human. And human beings, we are emotional creatures, right? So the emperor here can be seen as an emotionless character. And he's a type that if you've ever seen The Devil Wears Prada, this is Miranda. Is that who Meryl Streep played? Is that the name of the character? I don't know. I think if you've seen the movie, in the comments, let me know if it's Miranda or not, okay? But I think it's Miranda. And at the end of that movie, it's like when she finds out that like her husband is leaving her or something. I'm seriously generalizing here, but I think she finds out her husband is leaving her, and she sheds like one single tear. And then she jumps right back into work looking at seating arrangements, and she's like, we need to do this and do that. And then her assistant is looking at her like, yo, like your marriage is falling apart. Your life is literally falling apart. And she just couldn't, the fact that she was so detached from that part of herself, like her assistant was like blown away. But so this is kind of what your soul is saying, is like, get right back to business. Your soul is not saying ignore your emotions. Do not take it in that way. It's not about ignoring your emotions. It's saying don't let the embarrassment or the failure or the shame of something not working out keep you from moving forward with your plans. Your soul is saying like, feel what you need to feel. If you need to cry, if you need to grieve, if you need to be upset, if you need to be frustrated, that's fine. But don't let this weigh on you so much that it eclipses your vision of a future, or it gets in the way of you rebuilding. Like I said, there's something about like something rising and then falling. And there's something about that where it's not that you don't want to go through it again. It's not that you're trying to avoid that. It really disturbed you. And it's not that like you, like going back to that example, like maybe like that couple that person that cheated on their partner or whatever, it's not necessarily that the other person is like, oh, I'm never going to date again. It was just such a disturbing situation that it's kind of rocked you a bit naturally, right? Naturally. And like I said, it's just an example. I'm not actually saying that here. I'm not saying anybody have a baby on anyone, but it's just more so of an example of like something was very disturbing, you know? It was like, it was really good and then it wasn't. And don't let anything stop you from your plans. Don't let anything stop that with the Two of Wands. You have a vision for a reason. Don't let anything stop you. Emperor is about literally ruling over any situation, any challenge, any issue, any obstacle, whatever may be there, the Emperor rules over that. This can be like on a large scale or a small one. This is like, don't let what someone did or say interrupt your plans to have like a beautiful day or relaxing evening. It could be just as simple as that. Basically, your soul is saying there's too many people or too many things impacting the way that you see yourself. And your soul is craving you to step into a space where, especially whatever it is that has made you ashamed or maybe like embarrassed of your past or anything that just made you feel low in a sense with this Hangman in reverse, that's what your soul is craving for you. It's craving for you to drop that. It's really craving for you to drop that and to live uninterrupted by that. So your soul wants you to keep past situations and other people from interrupting your desires and your plans with this Two of Wands right here. It wants you to be solid when it comes to your wants, your goals, and your needs for sure. There's also something too with this Hangman coming through where your soul is actually, if you have something that you're not proud of that maybe happened in your past or something, it's actually, this Hangman in reverse is actually saying to the Emperor, or the Emperor is saying about this Hangman in reverse for you, your soul is saying this is actually like, was a valuable experience, or some way, shape, or form you can actually take this experience and convert it into some sort of a resource. You can take it and use it in some way, shape, or form with this Emperor right here. The Emperor is a very solid character, so no matter whatever happened or is happening, it doesn't change the fact that the Emperor is still the damn Emperor, you know? And that's what your soul really is craving for you to understand, is don't allow your identity to be so flexible. Don't allow that. Know who you are with this Two of Wands right here, because there's two different ways that you can kind of see yourself. With this Two of Wands right here, it's like you can either see yourself as the Hangman in reverse or as the Emperor. And it's a choice. It's a choice. It's literally like up to you, but your soul wants you to understand that you're really in control of that. You're really in control of the badges that you wear. So to choose wisely. But your soul is definitely craving to be sort of like liberated from the past or something that you may be embarrassed by or ashamed of, or you don't want it following you. But this isn't something that's like tainting your image or making you look bad. Identity is very, very important for some of you here, and your soul is definitely saying own it. It's really wanting you to own something. Yeah. Let's get some additional messages here from your oracle cards. See what else it is that your soul wants to say. We've got Lemon, the card Clarity, trigger statement. I'm so confused. True statement. I'm present. Allow your mind to be clear and let the noise of your thoughts fall away. Listen to your intuition. Yeah, allow the noise of the past to fall away as well. Allow it to fall away. Lemon is very acidic too. So it's very cleansing. I don't know why that little tidbit of information about lemon came through like that. But yeah, lemon's very acidic. And it's like, it can literally burn away anything. Like take some pure ass lemon juice and put it on your, well, don't actually do this. But if you did do it, like it would actually burn you. That's how acidic lemon is. And there's something about your past being the same thing with lemon. It's like your past is acidic in a way to maybe your image or your identity or your sense of pride. Let's get another cards. See what else your soul wants to say to you. Or what else it is that your soul is craving and desiring. But so far here we have clarity. Being clear, being more clear. Yeah, exactly. Being more clear about who you are with the Emperor. Like I said, with the Two of Wands right here. Let's see. And so if you're ever struggling, you know, going back and forth between who you used to be and who you are now, just become present. Become present. Sit in the moment. Who are you right now today? Who are you in the moment? We also have here Clove, the card Presence. Trigger statement, why did this happen to me? True statement, how did this happen for me? Exactly. There's flipping your perspective, changing it around. Like I said, with this past situation, there's something here where it kind of weighs heavily on you. But yeah, it says, know that you are the star of your life, my dear. Like this Emperor, you are the lead and the audience is here for you. Yeah, own it. Your soul is saying own it. The audience is here for you. That's why I'm hearing your soul say own it, because your soul is like, listen, it doesn't matter whatever happened in your past, whatever you may think is embarrassing for you is actually something that the audience they're here for. They're going to eat it up, and not in a way where it's like they're getting a sense of like entertainment off of something that was difficult for you in your past or something that maybe you're embarrassed by. It's not that. It's not that there's an appetite for your shame. It's more so that something about your presence seems more complete when you don't try to hide from whatever happened in your past. And it's something that makes you seem more rounded, or it makes you more well-rounded, or there's actually a lot more benefit to you incorporating some sort of story from your past than it is for you to act like it never happened. Yeah. Underneath the deck, we have here grounding, the card rooted, trigger statement, I am somewhere else, true statement right here. Now everything is perfect. Yeah. Allow your energy to shift to the material plane where it is needed to help you complete what you have set out to do. So your soul is also craving for you to be more grounded as well. For you to definitely be more grounded, for you to have more of a sense of like awareness in your present moment and who you are right now, who you have become. And that's one thing is like, the past can seriously haunt us. You know, it can seem like it's following us when we've worked so hard to get to, you know, kind of grow from a certain space. Or when we've worked so hard to change our story, to change the narrative. But it's also like, don't forget where you came from. Like it's, you know, something about it's beneficial. Let's get one final, okay. Oh, okay, or two messages from your soul. Let's see, underneath the deck we have Island, Solitude. Find solitude within yourself. It's another thing that your soul is craving. It could be craving some alone time to really get secure and stable and settled in a certain identity. Look what we have. Dawn, new beginnings, and dance celebration. You're this evolved person. You're evolved. And there's definitely a new beginning here. And I think that has a lot to do with your Two of Wands. As long as you're willing to kind of let go of this Hangman in reverse past situation, and then dance celebration. It's time to even celebrate as well. So your soul is craving new beginnings and celebration. That's what it's really craving, is like for you to be proud of yourself. It's interesting because this is not the first time that the Emperor has come up in this reading today. It came up in another pile. And the messages are slightly similar a little bit. There's some differences there, but it's like the theme is the same. It's funny because I was talking about watching the sun rise and then set, and then we have here dawn, new beginnings. Okay, so let me read out of the book. Dawn is saying new beginnings. The start of the day brings with it reassurance that the night is past. Exactly, this Hangman in reverse situation is past. It says making way for new opportunities no matter what has come before. It reminds us of the predictability of the daily cycles. That first light that forecasts the sun's appearance awakens the winged ones who sing and chirp happily at the advent of another morning. It's a time of fresh beginnings from which we can create whatever kind of experience we desire. In this image, we see the rays of the sun stretching into the valley, while the sun itself peeks around the corner as if it has set its course to proceed around the bend in the river, which appears relatively still from its rest during the night. This scene exemplifies renewal and new beginnings. It says, when you witness the initial stages of dawn without the benefit of a clock or other timepiece, for a while you may not be able to discern whether the sky is really lightening. The stars remain visible and shadows of the night still shape the landscape. It is that way with any beginnings. It is difficult to tell where the old ends and the new begins. Okay, that's why I was seeing the sun rise and set. Okay, so it says, gradually, however, it becomes clear to your senses that the light is definitely increasing, and as you continue to observe, the world slowly wakes up, accompanied by all the sounds, smells, and freshness associated with it. Soon the first glimmer of the sun shows, a new day has begun. This is a time to say farewell to the old and honor the new by releasing any self-imposed constraints or resistance to the truth. Hangman in reverse. Resistance to the truth that you know. This is your chance to develop that project that you've been thinking about, embark on that adventure that you've dreamed of going on, and take risks in initiating what your intuitive self has been telling you to do. 2 of Wands right here, you guys. It says, as this prospect becomes increasingly visible and real, doubts and uncertainties may arise, but rest assured, just as dawn inevitably turns into day, by heeding your inner guidance, you will succeed. Yeah, the Emperor, the Emperor solidified that. And then let's read dance. Okay, dance celebration here says, for you, this woman is dancing an ancient story, one that has been handed down for centuries. She's acting out this story through her movement, choreographed by the collaboration of tradition, ritual, and her own spirit. The dance itself sometimes becomes the story. Although unheard and unseen in this image, there are others who are singing and clapping to accompany this dancer. It's a communal celebration focused around a story that has been handed down for many, many generations. Like it says right here, you are the lead and the audience is here for you. Oh my God. Know that you are the star of your life, my dear. You are the lead and the audience is here for you. It says, for thousands of years, our ancestors, no matter our lineage, celebrated with ritualized storytelling that included singing and dancing. As in this image, the dancer's movement brings the tale to kinesthetic life? I don't know. The participation of the community in this heartfelt enactment helps secure the bonds of the people and connects them to their spiritual and ancestral roots. When we celebrate anything in this way, it always touches a deep sense of love, gratitude, and appreciation. The sacredness of any celebration is dependent upon the quality of spirit that is present. The quality of spirit is greater to the degree that you are fully present with minimal inhibitions about expressing your joy and happiness through physical movement. Focus on what you want to celebrate. Put on some music and dance, whether slow or fast. Sing a song while you do so. Make up one about what you most have to celebrate. God's wish is for everyone to enjoy their time on earth, and part of that wish is to celebrate your capacity to be joyous and express it through your body, whether in private with a small group of friends or a large communal gathering. Let music, song, and dance be a part of your sacred ceremony, regardless of what you are celebrating, for truly, any celebration is sacred. And so, yeah, basically your soul is also craving celebration, but this is also letting me know too, that whatever it is that you may be embarrassed about, I don't know if that's the right word, but like embarrassed about or whatever, is actually going to be something that's celebrated. It's going to be something that's celebrated, and it's going to be something that attracts an audience to you, because we saw the word audience right here in the card Clove. And this is the card about your presence. So it's actually your presence. This is making up your presence as well. And so, yeah, this is actually something that you're going to be praised for. And yeah, but pile 4, this is all that I'm saying for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, for these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. And until next time, please stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys.